Flow State Jedis, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle M. Let's get started today. Today we're talking all about conflict resolution, okay? Due to what's happening in Israel and Palestine, again, in a different way, in a different context, creating fear in the minds of people. Is there going to be a World War III? Is there going to be, something greater that emerges from this? And as I was thinking about my own background in positive psychology and understanding conflict in a spiritual way, it's caused through a separation of ideas, beliefs, values, okay? And interpersonal communication is oftentimes needed in order to diffuse or neutralize conflict. This is why it's important for both parties to speak in a neutral territory, because in an environment where there is a trigger for certain people will not be beneficial, because that will be distracting the motives. Prejudice is an involvement of emotions. Discernment is not. Discernment is very rational, very objective. If you want to understand different ways on how to metaphysically remove your internal conflict, you need to sign up for our mystery school, okay? The link is in the description, the Squarespace website. Go and visit it, watch the video. Okay, this is what we teach. We are going to take you 90 days, okay, through this protocol to help you out, to help you create a new avatar for yourselves that does not have the problems that you're currently going through. We're going to help you create a path working of deities, a main chakra point, understanding how to work with different totem animals and spirit guides, okay? We're going to teach you an entire protocol around this so that your peak performance can be supplemented through your magic, through your mysticism, okay? That's kind of the main understanding that we have of the mystery school. And of course, it's important not to share that information outside of that group, because it is sacred information, it is occult information, so I don't want it to leave from that group, okay? But these are very, very ancient and secret teachings and experimental teachings that I don't want it to slowly, delve into the public eye just yet. We're keeping it low key for now until it reaches the momentum that it needs in order for other people to know about it and share about it, okay? So let's get back to the topic at hand. Number one, you want to create win-win scenarios from both sides, okay? So that you're both winning and you both feel this sense of accomplishment together. You basically want to enter a sweet spot, a flow state of your conflict, okay? When it gets too lopsided, too extreme, to one pole or one side, it starts to take away from our equilibrium, from our clarity, from our neutrality, where we can stand strong and sovereign from that perspective. However, in a conflict, usually your emotions and reactions are taking over. You are focusing more on the power play and the dominance rather than the actual context of what's going on. Maybe it's a personal context, maybe it's a cultural context, and so forth. So instead of trying to correct others, because that's what usually people try to do right away, okay? Try to go into an ego preservation state, okay? The ego is your mediator, remember. Just like you have to be the mediator in the situation, your ego cannot be fully in the id or fully in the superego. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything done. You need your ego to come in and be the supervisor, the mediator, right? And manage and diffuse this conflict between your id and your superego so that you can do the task or get what you need done and so forth. And again, you can describe this in the Ayurvedic system too. Rajasic, Sattvic, and Tamasic can relate to the id, the superego, and the ego, okay? So very, very important to note that, okay? Because I love overlaps like this, and it helps us gain a better understanding of that ancient wisdom through practical means of how you as a modern day shaman can apply this tech. You want to start to use words like, I understand, okay, I acknowledge what you're saying. That's a valid point you made. These are Not ways of you giving up your power or them winning the argument, okay, and saying that they're right. You're just acknowledging where they're coming from. You see, in a lot of conflicts and arguments, we don't really listen to the other person, okay? We get into our own assumptions and prejudices and, justifications and rationalizations, and all of this cognitive distortions, this cognitive dissonances start coming in, which basically means your thinking becomes inaccurate. Your thinking becomes ineffective in these modes of anger and aggressiveness and moments of argumentative debate. Okay? It's a debate. Whereas actually you want to meet each other where you're at. One of the things that I've noticed really helps, and this really helps, is the understanding of starting with I, not you. If you're saying you are always like this and you are always like that, and you're placing blame on the other person, that just sounds like you're complaining and you're venting. It does not sound like you're taking a responsibility to solve this thing. Okay, you just want to express something out very quickly without a filter, rather than actually sitting with it, giving yourself a little bit of a space so that you both calm down and can have that conversation from a calm nervous system. Okay, breathing together, catching each other when that violent expression or that volcanic eruption of drama is seething inside of you, right? And you go, let me take some time, okay? How much time do you need? Usually I take like 5 minutes, okay? Away from the situation, I take 5 minutes, I take a breather, I walk around the park, whatever it is, and I reconvene with what's going on in front of me, if I'm really upset at that thing, okay? There needs to be some processing time in order for me to come up with a logical and sound argument that doesn't sound, emotionally driven or egotistically like some kind of a weird mind mechanism that's going on for me, right? I want to find out the actual solution to this conflict. I don't want the projected response that comes out in the process of the fight. So as you take a step back, you want to ask yourself very good questions like, why is there a conflict to begin with? Okay? Once you understand other people's point of view and you take it back to your values, your priorities, your principles, then you'll start to slowly create more of a rapport and a connection with this person so that you can figure this thing out. If you're disrespecting them, they're going to close up and they won't say anything. So you need to have this level of respect for yourself and the other person that you're communicating with. If there's no respect from their side, there's no use in having that argument, okay? If they're just in that hostile state and just yelling at you, you cannot change their mind in that state. And you don't start giving compliments, start becoming sexual, start, trying to change. Don't do that. When they are in a bad mood, you take a step back, you understand, okay, cool. The priest is a chance for you to activate when someone is upset, and the beast is what you will activate when someone is feeling really good and in that vibe, in that frequency of that rawness, right? That primal groundedness. Sometimes what happens is the information gets so ungrounded in reality, right? It becomes like some kind of a boxing match in the astral almost, right? Like an etheric boxing match that's taking place between both of your energies. They're trying to fight and create some kind of consensus or compromise. However, a person's true values, belief systems is really important to consider, because if they have a very deep-seated negative belief, they might actually like this argument. They might actually want to perpetuate this drama, right? So you want to know that. You want to be like, yo, you're doing this out of nothing, right? You're just addicted to bad feelings, right? And you want to get a spike of that bad emotion because it's familiar to you, right? Like once you get that, you can then back off, where you can understand, I need a different strategy or a different approach to deal with this. Yes, people will test you for what? Your survival. As a man, you'll be tested for your survival. As a woman, you'll be tested for your beauty, your reproductive qualities, and so forth, okay? That's kind of the biological thing that's happening underneath the surface. And then you also understand that the elite are actually trying to spread this narrative, okay? Now, the elite know how to use this chaos, and they understand that when there is a chaotic situation, there's opportunity, that there is something new, something creative that will emerge from that energy. So they can sit on, the 12th floor of a very rich penthouse or a skyscraper and not have to worry about what's happening in the world, right? But we as more conscious individuals, we're looking at this going, bro, what? We need to fix this, right? People are hurt. People are dying. People are in pain, right? You don't feel that? When you see videos of all of these, children getting abducted and hearing stories like that, man, it hits my soul, right? It hits my whole temperament. Like, bro, there needs to be something that we got to do about this. But again, I don't want to stick in my nose into a situation that I don't know anything about either, right? I'm not going to overwhelm my nervous system with this stuff. I'm going to try to create my own pathways, my new neural pathways, in order to facilitate the feelings that are coming up from all these world conflicts and different things that are happening, okay? So I'm not just completely jaded, living in a forest somewhere, doing it in my own world. What I am doing is I'm sending out the messages so that people can get those understandings, get those downloads, and move in the physical, get things done, right? Start to create more of an impact on yourself and others. By the way, guys, if you're hearing a difference in my energy right now, it is purely because I received a healing last night, which was very, very powerful, okay? I believe this is called Senggoro Makan, okay? It's kind of a Javanese tiger healing that I received. Indonesian, okay? That's the roar of the tiger that creates charisma and authority. So if you notice my voice sounding very different, it's because I'm tapping into the energy of the tiger. Okay, the energy of the tiger is very alive and within me right now. That's how I'm able to ride the wave of this video and tell you these things today. From this understanding, from this energy that's just flowing through my veins right now. So take a breather, man, pause, and let the good ideas become great ideas through what? Your own creativity, your own innovation. As a mystic, you got to be a freestyle mystic, right? A freestyle shaman, as we like to call it at Primal Sutra, where you're able to be on your toes in regards to your own spiritual journey. And whatever happens, yes, there are things happening in the physical world, you don't let that deter you away from your mission. It becomes a part of it, right? You accept it and access the source consciousness, and you allow the help to come in and move things along in the greatest way possible, okay? So I hope you resonated with this message. Share this with a friend. Let's get it today. No more conflicts, peace, ease, healing. Healing is the process of integration, bringing two opposing poles together, a split together, okay? It's all about that trauma split coming together and fusing in the middle, so we have this beautiful midpoint of equilibrium, of acceptance, of neutrality. Let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. I'll see you on the other side. Join the mystery school. I'll see you there too. Us.